Greetings again from Northumberland on a damp and rainy day. It's the 28th of January, and as this month draws to a close, we're certainly getting our fair share of rain again after a lovely period in the middle of the month. I want to say a couple of practical things first. On Sunday, we're going to anticipate the feast of the presentation of Christ in the temple, the feast of Candlemas. And so if you can get a candle in your shopping this weekend, or you already have one at home, please have a candle ready for when we put our film service up, because at a point in the service we're going to ask everyone to light a candle. Secondly, and staying on the same subjects, the archbishops have called us to a month of prayer for our nation during February. This is in response to the terrible news that over 100,000 people have died in our country since the beginning of the COVID pandemic. And they've asked us each day to light a candle and to burn it in our window for a short time at 6 p.m. In response to that, from next week, we're going to film our evening service at 6 p.m. and light a candle. We, of course, can't both film it and broadcast it at 6 p.m, so it'll be broadcast by about 6:30 or 6:45. We've tried live streaming here, but the signal has not been reliable in doing that, so I apologise for that problem. However, you could light your candle at 6 o'clock and then wait for our service to come up somewhere between 6:30 and 7 and share in our service, which takes about 10 minutes, and then put your candle out. So it will be a time of reflection and then prayer for those people who have died and for the continued dangers. I read a horrible figure yesterday that we could still get to 150,000 deaths, and only yesterday more than 1,700 people died in our country. In the light of all this, we're thinking about what we're going to do for our services for Lent and Easter, and certainly no decisions have yet been taken. But what is fairly clear is we won't be rushing into a restart, because we want to be very careful of people's safety and health at this time. Sorry for all those practical announcements right at the beginning of the reflection today, but the main thing to take away is get a candle or two and be ready to use them from Sunday in our worship. And that brings us to a really appropriate reading. Yesterday we had a very long gospel during our prayers, and it was the story of the seed and the sower, and above all the story of the soil, highlighting our responsibility to respond to the constancy of the word and the love of God, and to bear fruit in our own lives. Jesus then moves on with some more images, and this gospel reading today is very short, but let me just remind you of it. He said to them, "Is a lamp bought to be put under a bushel basket or under the bed, and not on the lampstand? The lamp has to be up on the lampstand, shining. For there is nothing hidden except it will be disclosed, nor anything secret except it comes to light." God knows us entirely, and he wants us to shine in the world. And then he moves on to another image, that of the measure. The measure you give out will be the measure you are given. That's important to remember as well. To be recipients of Christ's love, we also have to be livers and sharers. For to those who have, more will be given. Today, our canticle after the Gospel will be a prayer of St. Teresa. Christ has no body now but yours, no hands, no feet on earth but yours. And that canticle, that prayer in the canticle as a canticle, reminds us of our responsibility to live as Christ's people in our world, shining as a light, revealing God's presence in our lives to those around us, measuring out the fullness of God's love, and being sure that we are open to everything that God wants to give us. In these difficult and challenging times, it's an important message for us all. And so may we shine with the light of Christ, and may we be blessed in everything we do. God bless us all.